This is the coolest LEGO compatible mech that I have built so far. With more than 2,000 pieces, this MSN04 Sazabi is larger and heavier than most of the mechs we have featured on this channel. Hi, I'm Leo and I am a LEGO collector. But ever since I became a parent, I found LEGO sets to be on the expensive side. I didn't want to leave brick building completely behind, so I stepped into the woods outside of my comfort zone to find amazing alternatives. And this is one of those excellent finds. This is the Sazabi mech from Jiestar, seemingly based on the mobile suit piloted by none other than Char Aznable. Let me tell you about the build experience, the quality, and all the little details. Don't miss the buy or skip verdict near the end of the video. Thank you Barweer for sending us this set. It didn't come with a box, just a shipping bag with all the parts. And thankfully they were all numbered. This instruction booklet is massive, well, relative to what I usually build on this channel. It starts with some friendly guidelines, and yes, they do give us a brick part separator. The instructions were easy to follow and you don't have to squint to read them like some other sets. I am honestly impressed with the build experience crafted by Jiestar here. I've only built one other Jiestar set before and it was a rose set. This chunky bot took me 3 days to finish. Being a disabled brick builder, it takes me longer than most to build things. The whole build was interesting from start to finish. It gets a little repetitive towards the end, but it was not bad. And here is the star of the show. This absolute unit stands at about 12 inches, and this interpretation of the Sazabi has quite a prominent full frontal. Anyway, let's go through this mech from the top down. This head assembly looks amazing and it has a little articulation, just enough to turn his head from side to side. We even have some semblance of the V-fin, or in this case it looks more a lot like a U-fin. The chest is a solid build with excellent use of both smaller and larger pieces to replicate the mobile suit shaping. They use flexible tubes and yellow pieces here to recreate the supposedly important cables. It's bright yellow so the enemies know what to target. The waist is also sufficiently girthy to carry the massive skirting attached all around. Even the skirt panels of this mech are quite hefty, and if we look closer we see the prints in black and silver. Unfortunately, it seems that our friend Sazabi has been skipping leg day. Upper leg day? The joints in his hip that connect to the leg are small is what I'm trying to say. The poor ball joint carries a lot of weight and it has been slipping and unable to hold a position. It's locked in place with the hardest working technique bushings, but they don't add enough friction to keep everything tight. The legs are protected with these shell-like armors that flare outwards. Between you and me, not the most stable part of this mech. The knees here also frequently pop off. The mech has large feet, so you know what that means. Yep, he needs custom footwear. Anyway, just a quick tip here. The mech tends to slip on smooth surfaces, so be careful where you place this. This thing almost fell off my shelf. Let's go back up here to look at these shoulders. They use appropriately sized ball joints to hold up these gargantuan pauldrons. They move a little bit so they are out of the way when posing. The armor pieces here hold great, not like some slubban sets we have built in the past. This joint also carries the weight of the arms and accessories, which we will get to in a moment. First, let's take a look at this rear armor skirt that we didn't get to earlier. This has got to be the single biggest piece of armor that I have built. A closer look shows as various yellow, gray, and silver pieces to represent the exposed mechanisms. This reminds me of perfect grade sets for some reason. We also have these propellant tanks attached to this back assembly. It's cleverly built with these black and blue cylinder pieces. They articulate a little bit, but be careful not to rip the whole thing out. Now for the accessories. Sazabi comes with quite the impressive offensive and defensive loadout. On his right hand, this large beam shot rifle looks excellent with red bar pieces and a couple of printed tiles. It's securely fastened with a few studs while the fingers pretend to hold them in place. The wrist seems sufficiently strong to hold this up, but the rest of the ball joints don't really cooperate when posing. On the other side of the mech is this insanely cool shield. I love a good shield. My favorite is the Sinan Juice, which is coincidentally based on the Sazabi. Here we see the only sticker that I bothered to apply, this middle emblem here. And I think the only reason this was a sticker in the first place is because they couldn't print over multiple pieces like this. They use Technique car panels to achieve the shaping here, which is an excellent choice for both looks and stability. It's still quite heavy though, and it is basically impossible for the mech to lift this unassisted. The back of the shield hides an interesting feature, the Sazabi's Beam Tomahawk. There are no beam pieces included, but it's a nice addition anyway. I wonder if we can 3D print the effect pieces. And lastly, up here are these two storage pods that can release 6 new type controlled funnels. My toxic trait is I think I can pilot a Gundam on my first try. Anyway, there is no cockpit in this set for a minifig pilot, which would have made this set perfect. With that said, there is no minifigure at all. I love this behemoth of a set, and yes, while this set is basically impossible to pose, it doesn't have to do much to look cool. This Sazabi turned out great. What mech do you want Jiestar to make next? I think they should do the new Gundam. That would be epic. So buy or skip. This set costs roughly $34 on Barware, and let me spoil it a bit, this is an insane value for the price. My recommendation is you should buy this if number 1, you like brick-built mechs or robots, number 2, you like massive builds for a fraction of the price of original bricks. But you should skip this if number 1, you want a minifig pilot. This doesn't have a cockpit, which feels like an oversight. It also doesn't come with a minifig. It's not a deal breaker for me, but it may be to some of you. Number 2, if you can't tolerate some loose pieces, this mostly holds together great, but some parts hold better than others. Exercise caution when moving this around. And now it's time to choose your next adventure. We uploaded 4 brand new videos on the channel today. You've watched this one about the Jiestar Sazabi mech. Now you can select from the links on your screen. The choice is yours. Go ahead and click one. I said click one. What are you waiting for? Time's running out!